I was eating a protein bar at my desk when my wife's face appeared on my phone, not from a call, but from a LinkedIn notification. Congratulations to Jessica Harper on her new position as Senior Marketing Director at Waverly & Associates. The company name meant nothing to me. What caught my attention was the timestamp, posted 4 hours ago, during what should have been her client meeting in Portland. I clicked through to her profile. Portland, Oregon was nowhere in her work history. Waverly & Associates was headquartered in Seattle, 45 minutes from our house in Bellevue, Washington. My finger hovered over her contact photo. We'd been married 6 years, together for 8. I built custom automation systems for commercial buildings. She'd climbed the marketing ladder at a pharmaceutical company. No kids yet. We'd been trying for 18 months, which made the timing of this career move particularly strange. She hadn't mentioned interviewing anywhere, hadn't mentioned being unhappy at her current job. I called her cell, straight to voicemail. The protein bar tasted like cardboard now. I set it down and opened our shared calendar. Portland client meeting, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Added 3 weeks ago. I scrolled back through February and January. 2 more Portland trips. One to San Francisco, another to Vancouver, BC. My project manager knocked on my office door frame. "Hey, Ryan, the Mercer Street install team needs... Give me 10 minutes. He must have seen something in my face because he backed out without another word. I pulled up our credit card statements. The one we used for everything. The one with the travel rewards she always said we should maximize. I found the February Portland trip. February 14th through 16th. Valentine's weekend. She'd apologized profusely about the timing, brought me back a coffee table book about Oregon breweries. No charges in Portland. Nothing. No hotel. No rental car. No restaurants. But there was a charge at a boutique hotel in downtown Seattle, the Alexis, for 2 nights. $847. My hands were steady as I clicked through to January. Same pattern. San Francisco on the calendar. Hotel charge in Seattle. Different property this time, the Four Seasons. $1,203 for 3 nights. The office felt too small suddenly. I stood up, sat back down, opened my desk drawer and closed it. My brain was doing that thing where it tries to manufacture innocent explanations. Maybe she was meeting Portland clients in Seattle. Maybe the pharmaceutical company had a satellite office there. Maybe... My phone buzzed. Jessica, finally calling back. "Hey, babe." Her voice had that slightly elevated pitch she used when she was performing happiness. "Sorry, my phone died during the meeting. Just got to the airport. Flight's at 7, so I should be home by 9. How was Portland?" "Exhausting. The client is demanding, but I think we're close to closing the deal." The lie came so easily, so practiced. "Which client is this again?" A pause. Less than a second, but I heard it. "Meridian Health Systems. I've mentioned them." She hadn't. Not once. "Cool. Well, fly safe. Love you." "Love you too." I hung up and immediately opened a browser in incognito mode. Meridian Health Systems existed, a small network of clinics in Oregon. I called their main number. "Thank you for calling Meridian Health. This is Ashley. How may I direct your call?" "Hi, I'm trying to reach your marketing department." "We don't have a formal marketing department, sir. Our practice administrator handles that." "Would you like me to transfer you to Bonnie?" "No, that's okay. Thank you." I ended the call and stared at the LinkedIn notification still open on my screen. Jessica's professional headshot smiled back at me. The photo we'd taken together at a wedding last summer, cropped to just her face. I'd been standing right next to her when the camera clicked. The new job posting at Waverly & Associates. I clicked through to the company website. Boutique marketing firm, 20 employees, specializing in tech sector clients. The Our Team page loaded slowly. And there he was. Trevor fucking Vaughn, Founder and CEO. 42 years old according to his bio. Stanford MBA. Previously at Google and Microsoft. In his photo, he had the kind of casual confidence that came from never having to wonder if you belonged somewhere. Perfect teeth, expensive haircut, probably wore a Patagonia vest to every meeting. I clicked on Jessica's profile again and checked her connections. Trevor Vaughn, connected 3 months ago. Mutual connections. 17 people, most from Seattle's tech marketing scene. 3 months. Right when the Portland trip started. My desk phone rang. The project manager again, probably. I let it go to voicemail. I was scrolling through Trevor's LinkedIn now, looking for, I didn't even know what. Proof? Confirmation of what I already knew? His posts were the usual CEO thought leadership garbage. Excited to welcome new talent to the Waverly family, posted this morning. Comments below from various employees including, so glad to have Jessica joining us. Already making an impact. Already making an impact. She'd been there less than a day, officially. I screenshotted everything. The LinkedIn posts, the credit card statements, the calendar entries. Methodical, clinical. My finger moved across the phone screen like I was debugging code. Isolate the problem, document the failure points, identify the solution. Then I called my brother. What's up? Derek answered on the second ring. Background noise suggested he was at the gym. I need the name of that attorney you used. The background noise stopped. Ryan, what happened? Jessica's cheating on me. I need a divorce lawyer who doesn't mess around. I save everything to a cloud drive Derek doesn't know about. A backup of the backup. Then I clear my browser history, shut down the computer, and sit in my car in the parking lot. My phone says 6:47 p.m. Jessica gets home at 9. I have 2 hours and 13 minutes. The smart move is calling that attorney. Getting ahead of this. But I need to see her face when she walks through the door still wearing whatever lies she's been performing all day. I need to watch her try to sell me another story about Portland and difficult clients, and how exhausted she is from meetings that never happened. I drive home on autopilot. Our house in Bellevue looks exactly like it did this morning. Same gray siding, same landscaping, same everything. Like the world hasn't completely inverted in the last 8 hours. Inside, I don't turn on many lights. I sit at the kitchen table with my laptop and go through Jessica's social media. Her Instagram is mostly professional, carefully curated shots of marketing conferences, coffee cups with motivational quotes, that kind of performance. But 3 months ago, right when Trevor Vaughn entered the picture, her posting pattern changed. More photos from Seattle, the Space Needle at sunset, Pike Place Market, a latte from some boutique coffee shop in Pioneer Square. Building a narrative, establishing her Seattle presence for when she finally announces the job change. I screenshot everything with timestamps. Her Facebook is privacy locked to friends only, but I know her password. We shared everything once. She's got it set so her Instagram posts cross-post automatically. Nothing interesting there. Then I check the phone records through our carrier's website. I've never done this before, never had a reason to, but we're on a shared plan, and the account is in my name. The call logs go back 6 months. I export them to a spreadsheet and start sorting by frequency. Our home number, my cell, her parents, a few numbers I recognize as her college friends. Normal stuff. Then there's a number that appears 127 times in the last 3 months. The calls start exactly 9 days after Trevor Vaughn connected with her on LinkedIn. The first one lasted 4 minutes. The second one, 2 days later, went for 37 minutes. After that, they're talking almost daily. Some calls are brief, 2 or 3 minutes. Others stretch past an hour. The most recent call was today at 2:34 p.m., 18 minutes. While she was supposedly in a meeting with Meridian Health Systems. I reverse search the number. It's a Seattle cell phone. No name attached, but the area code and prefix match the region where Waverly and Associates has their office. I add it to my evidence folder. At 7:30, I make myself eat something. Leftover pasta from 2 nights ago. It tastes like nothing. I'm chewing and swallowing because my body needs fuel, but I'm not really present for the experience. The house is too quiet. I keep thinking about the last 18 months. Trying for a baby. Jessica's enthusiasm about it. Her carefully tracked ovulation cycles. Her disappointment every month when her period came. Was any of that real? Or was she already planning her exit? Already building her new life with Trevor fucking Vaughn? My phone buzzes. A text from Jessica. Traffic is terrible. Might be closer to 9:30. Sorry, babe. I stare at that heart emoji for a long time. Then I type back, no problem, drive safe. She responds immediately. Love you. I don't answer that one. At 8:15, I do something I've never done before. I install a voice-activated recording app on my phone. It's legal in Washington. Single-party consent state. As long as I'm present for the conversation, I can record it without telling her. I test it twice to make sure it works. Then I sit in the living room with all the lights off except one lamp and wait. She arrives at 9:42 p.m. I hear her car in the driveway, the garage door opening, her footsteps in the mudroom. She's on her phone, laughing at something. The laugh cuts off abruptly when she walks into the kitchen and sees me sitting there. Oh my God, you scared me. She's wearing business casual, black slacks, a cream blouse, heels. Her makeup is fresh. She looks like she's been in meetings all day, except I know she hasn't. Why are you sitting in the dark? Long day, I say. How was Portland? She drops her bag on the counter and opens the fridge. Exhausting. The Meridian people are so disorganized. We spent 3 hours going in circles about their Q3 campaign strategy. She pulls out a bottle of white wine. Want some? I'm good. She pours herself a glass. Her hands are steady. Her voice is steady. She's told this lie so many times it comes out smooth as silk. Did you get the contract finalized? I ask. Not yet. They want another meeting next week. She takes a sip of wine and leans against the counter. Honestly, I don't know if this account is worth the headache. They can't make a decision to save their lives. That's frustrating. You have no idea. She's scrolling through her phone now, distracted. I'm going to take a bath. Today was brutal. Jessica. Something in my voice makes her look up. Yeah? How's the job search going? She blinks. What do you mean? You've been applying to places, right? You said you were getting tired of all the travel. Oh. She takes another sip of wine, buying time. Yeah, I've been looking. Nothing serious yet. Why? Just wondering if you'd heard back from anyone. Not really. The market's pretty competitive right now. She sets down her glass. Are you okay? You're being weird. I'm fine. You don't seem fine. I stand up. She's 5'6" in heels and I'm 6'1". The height difference feels more pronounced than usual. I'm just tired. You should take that bath. She studies my face for a moment, and I can see her trying to read me, trying to figure out if something's wrong or if I'm just in a mood. Finally, she picks up her wine glass. Okay, I'll be down in a bit. She leaves the kitchen. I hear her footsteps on the stairs, the bathroom door closing, water running in the tub. I sit back down and pull out my phone. The recording app captured everything. Her voice is clear, every lie preserved in digital format. I text Derek, need that attorney's number. He responds in 30 seconds. Everything okay? No, I'll explain later. Just send it. The contact information comes through. Andrew Paxton, family law specialist, office in downtown Seattle. I draft an email. Mr. Paxton, My brother Derek gave me your name. I need to discuss a divorce. My wife has been having an affair and lying about her employment situation. I have extensive documentation. Are you available this week? I read it 3 times before hitting send. The response comes back in 7 minutes. I have an opening tomorrow at 4 p.m. Please bring all documentation you've gathered. Initial consultation is $400, 1 hour. AP. I confirm the appointment. Upstairs, the bathwater shuts off. I hear Jessica moving around, settling into the tub. In a few minutes, she'll come back downstairs in her robe, probably suggest we watch something on Netflix, curl up next to me on the couch like nothing's wrong. Like she didn't spend her day with Trevor Vaughn. Like she hasn't been systematically dismantling our marriage for 3 months while I was debugging building automation systems and believing her stories about Portland. My phone buzzes again. Derek. Paxton's good. Expensive, but good. Call me if you need anything. I don't answer. I'm watching the stairs, waiting for Jessica to reappear, wondering how many more lies she's going to tell me before I stop her. The recording app is still running. I'm going to need every word. I'm sitting at the kitchen table when she walks in at 6:47 p.m., rolling her small carry-on behind her. The same navy blue Samsonite she's had for years. Hey, babe. She drops her bag and comes over to kiss my cheek. Her lips are cold. God, what a day. The flight back was delayed an hour on the tarmac. There was no flight. She drove back from Seattle, probably left Trevor's place around 5:30 to make the timing work. That sucks, I say. How'd the presentation go? Really well, actually. She's already moving toward the fridge, pulling out the ingredients for a salad. I think we're going to land the account. The VP of marketing loved our approach. The recording app is running in my pocket. Every word captured. That's great. Which hotel did they put you in again? The Marriott downtown. She doesn't even hesitate. Nothing special, but the bed was comfortable. The Four Seasons charged our card $847 2 nights ago. I watch her chop a cucumber. Her movements are practiced, efficient. The same hands that have touched another man. The same mouth that's been kissing him while I've been debugging automation systems and thinking about baby names. I'm exhausted, she says. I'm going to eat this and maybe take a bath. Sure, she glances at me. You okay? You seem quiet. Just tired, long day. The evening proceeds like normal. She eats her salad at the counter while scrolling through her phone. I pretend to read emails on my laptop. She takes her bath. I hear the water running, smell her lavender bath salts. By 9:30, she's in bed. By 10, she's asleep. I stay up until midnight, adding today's recordings to the folder. Then I lie down next to my wife and stare at the ceiling. The meeting with Andrew Paxton is scheduled for Thursday at 2 p.m. His office is in downtown Seattle, 32 floors up in a glass tower with views of Elliott Bay. I take a half day off work, tell my boss I have a dentist appointment. Paxton's office is exactly what I expected. Dark wood, leather chairs, framed degrees from Georgetown. He's maybe 50, gray at the temples, wearing a suit that probably costs more than my monthly mortgage payment. Ryan, he shakes my hand. Firm grip. Have a seat. I sit. Place the manila folder on his desk. He opens it and starts reading. His expression doesn't change as he goes through the printed screenshots, the credit card statements, the phone records. He takes his time. 15 minutes pass in silence except for the rustling of paper. Finally, he looks up. This is thorough, he says. Very thorough. And the recordings? On this drive. I slide the USB across the desk. 18 conversations over the past week. Every time she's lied about where she was, who she was with, what she was doing. Washington is a 2-party consent state for recordings, he says. We can't use these in court. I know, but I wanted documentation for myself, to make sure I wasn't crazy. You're not crazy. He closes the folder. Your wife is having an affair with her new boss. She's been lying to you for at least 3 months, possibly longer. She's been using marital funds to facilitate the affair. And she's been doing all of this while you were actively trying to conceive a child together. Hearing someone else say it makes it real in a way it hasn't been before. What happens now? I ask. Now we file for divorce on grounds of adultery. Washington is a no-fault state, so technically we don't need to prove adultery for the divorce itself. But this evidence will be very useful in the division of assets and potentially for spousal support considerations. I don't want her to get anything. That's not how it works in Washington. It's a community property state. Everything acquired during the marriage gets divided equitably. Not necessarily equally, but equitably. However, the court can consider a number of factors, including the economic circumstances of each party at the time of division. She makes more than I do now, I say. The new job, senior marketing director. Good, that helps. He makes a note. Do you own your home? Yes, we bought it 4 years ago. Still have a mortgage. Any other significant assets? Retirement accounts? Investments? Vehicles? 2 cars, both paid off. My 401k. Her 401k. A joint savings account with about $40,000. Children? No. That simplifies things. He leans back in his chair. Here's what I recommend. We file immediately. We request that you retain the house, your vehicle, and your retirement account. She keeps her vehicle and her retirement account. We split the savings. Given that she's the higher earner now and the one who committed adultery using marital funds, we have a strong position. How long does this take? In Washington, there's a mandatory 90-day waiting period from the date of filing to the date the divorce can be finalized. If she contests anything, it could take longer. 6 months to a year isn't unusual. 90 days minimum. 3 more months of living in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, pretending everything is fine. Does she have to know I'm filing? I ask. She has to be served with the divorce papers. That's legally required. But you can choose when that happens. Some people wait until they've moved out. Some people serve their spouse at work. Some do it at home. What do you recommend? That depends on your situation. Do you think she'll become volatile, violent? No. She'll be shocked. Maybe angry. But not violent. Then I'd recommend serving her at home. It's more private. Less embarrassing for both of you. Less embarrassing. As if any of this isn't already the most humiliating experience of my life. Okay, I say. Let's do that. I'll need a retainer of $5,000 to get started. I'll draft the petition this week. We can file early next week, and she can be served by the end of next week. Next week. 7 days. I write the check. On Friday night, Jessica comes home with takeout from our favorite Thai place, Pad See Ew and Drunken Noodles. She's in a good mood, talking about some campaign launch at work. Trevor wants me to lead the whole thing, she says. It's a huge opportunity. Trevor. She says his name so casually, like he's just a normal boss, and not the man she's been sleeping with in expensive hotels while lying to my face. That's great, I say. We eat on the couch and watch a movie. Some romantic comedy she picked. I don't register any of it. Just sit there with the noodles going cold on my plate, thinking about how in 7 days, everything changes. She falls asleep with her head on my shoulder. I look down at her face. She looks peaceful. Innocent. I wonder if Trevor knows she's married. I wonder if he cares. At some point, I move her head to a pillow and go to bed. Saturday morning, I'm in the garage organizing my tools when my phone rings. Unknown number. Hello? Ryan, this is Andrew Paxton. I step outside, close the garage door behind me. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, but something's come up. Can you come to my office Monday morning? 8 a.m.? I have work. Call in sick. This is important. What is it? Not over the phone, Monday at 8. He hangs up. I stand in the driveway staring at my phone. The neighbor across the street is mowing his lawn. The sound is too loud, too normal. Inside, Jessica is making coffee. I can see her through the kitchen window, humming to herself. Monday morning, I tell my boss I have food poisoning. He tells me to feel better. Paxton's office at 8 a.m. is different from Thursday afternoon. The light is harsher. He looks tired. What's going on? I ask as soon as I sit down. He slides a piece of paper across the desk. This came through on Friday afternoon, from Jessica's attorney. She has an attorney? She does now, Gregory Walsh. He's with Preston and Cole, big firm, expensive. I look at the paper. It's a letter on law firm letterhead. Dear Mr. Paxton, we represent Jessica Harper in the matter of her marriage to your client, Ryan Harper. We understand that you may be preparing to file a petition for divorce on Mr. Harper's behalf. Please be advised that Mrs. Harper is 12 weeks pregnant with Mr. Harper's child. Given this development, we strongly encourage all parties to pursue counseling and reconciliation rather than dissolution of the marriage. We are prepared to discuss this matter further at your earliest convenience. Sincerely, Gregory Walsh, ***. I read it twice, then a third time. The words don't make sense. She's pregnant, I say? That's what they're claiming. We haven't had sex in 6 weeks. Paxton looks at me. You're certain? Yes. She's been too stressed from work, too tired, too everything. So either she's lying about being pregnant, or the child isn't yours. Or both. Or neither. My brain isn't working right. How did she know I was filing? I ask. Good question. Either she figured it out from your behavior, or someone tipped her off. Does she have any friends who work in legal? Not that I know of. Well, she knows now. And she's gotten ahead of it with this pregnancy announcement. He taps the letter. This is a strategic move. If she's actually pregnant, it complicates everything. Custody, child support, division of assets, and it makes you look worse if you're trying to divorce your pregnant wife. But if the baby isn't mine, then we can request a paternity test, but not until after the child is born, and that's 7 months away. 7 months. The divorce can't be finalized while she's pregnant. Or it can, but it becomes infinitely more complicated. This is insane, I say. This is strategy, Paxton corrects. The question is whether she's actually pregnant or whether this is a stalling tactic. I think about the past week. She hasn't been sick. No morning sickness, no fatigue beyond what she's been claiming from work stress, no doctor's appointments that I know of. I want proof, I say. A doctor's note, ultrasound, something. We can request that. But Ryan, you need to understand something. If she is pregnant, even if the child isn't biologically yours, if you're still married when the baby is born, Washington law presumes you're the legal father. You'd be on the hook for child support regardless of biology. That's insane. That's the law. I stand up, walk to the window. 32 floors below, people are walking to work. Normal people with normal problems. What do I do? I ask. We file anyway, today. And we request documentation of the pregnancy as part of discovery. Medical records, doctor's notes, ultrasound images, everything. If she's lying, we'll know soon enough. And if she's not lying, then we deal with it. But my instinct says this is too convenient. She finds out you're about to file for divorce and suddenly she's pregnant? After months of you trying unsuccessfully to conceive? He's right. It's too convenient. But there's something else bothering me. Something I can't quite identify. Do it, I say. File today. I sit in the conference room at Paxton's office, watching him review the response from Jessica's attorney. His expression hasn't changed, but he's been reading the same paragraph for 30 seconds. What? I ask. He slides the letter across the table. They're refusing medical documentation, claiming it's an invasion of privacy and unnecessary given that you're the legal husband. I read it myself. The language is careful, deliberate. Jessica's attorney, some guy named Richard Brennan, argues that requesting proof of pregnancy constitutes harassment and that Washington law presumes paternity within marriage regardless. Can they do that? They can refuse, Paxton says, but it makes our case stronger. Judge won't like the evasiveness, especially given the timeline issues you've documented. He pulls out another folder. I filed this morning. She'll be served within 48 hours. Once that happens, things move fast. I nod. The numbness is still there, that strange detachment that's been following me since I found her LinkedIn post. Everything feels like I'm watching it happen to someone else. One more thing, Paxton says. I need you to be prepared for her reaction. Some people get served and accept it quietly. Others make it a war. She'll make it a war. Probably. He leans back. Document everything from this point forward. Every interaction, every text, every phone call. If she shows up at your office, record it. If she calls crying, record it. Washington's single-party consent, so you're covered legally. I leave his office at 3:47 p.m. The drive back to Bellevue takes an hour in traffic. I keep the radio off, let the silence fill the car. My phone rings as I'm merging onto I-90. Derek. Hey, I say. Just checking in. You file yet? This morning. How you holding up? I'm fine. The pause on his end says he doesn't believe me. You want to grab dinner this week? Get out of your head for a bit? Maybe. I'll let you know. We hang up. The traffic crawls forward. Someone honks behind me, and I realize the gap ahead has grown to 3 car lengths. I get home at 5:23 p.m. The house is empty. Jessica's been staying late at work more often, or that's what she tells me. Probably meeting Trevor at another hotel, spending my money on room service and champagne. The thought should make me angry, but it just sits there, inert. I open my laptop and check the credit card statements again. There's a new charge from 2 days ago. The Edgewater Hotel, Seattle. $623. I screenshot it, add it to the folder. Then I do something I haven't done yet. I create a new document and start writing down everything I remember about the past 6 months. Every business trip, every late night at the office, every time she came home and kissed me like nothing was wrong. The list grows to 3 pages. My phone buzzes at 7:04 p.m. Jessica. Working late again. Don't wait up. I don't respond. At 9:30 p.m., I hear her car in the driveway. The garage door opens, closes. Her footsteps in the kitchen. The refrigerator opening. She appears in the doorway of my office. Hey. Hey. She's wearing the navy dress I bought her for Christmas last year. Her makeup is perfect, not a hair out of place. She doesn't look like someone who just spent 12 hours at the office. You eat? She asks. Yeah. I grabbed something on the way home. She shifts her weight, and I notice her hand drift to her stomach. The gesture looks practiced, like she's been rehearsing it. I've been thinking about what my attorney said, about us trying to work through this. I close my laptop. Okay. I know things have been difficult with the pregnancy and everything, but I think we should try counseling for the baby. The baby. She says it like it's already real, already ours. Sure, I say. We can talk about it. She smiles and it almost reaches her eyes. Good. I'll look into some therapists this week. She leaves. I hear her footsteps on the stairs, the bedroom door closing. I reopen my laptop and add a new note. 9:32 p.m. Jessica suggests counseling. Hand on stomach gesture observed. Affect appears rehearsed. The next day, I'm debugging a climate control system at a medical building in Redmond when Paxton calls. She's been served, he says. I step into an empty conference room. When? About an hour ago, at her office. I imagine it. Jessica at her desk, probably in some glass-walled office with a view of downtown Seattle. The process server walking in, handing her the envelope. Her opening it, reading the first page. Petitioner requests dissolution of marriage due to irretrievable breakdown. Any response yet? I ask. Give it time. She's probably with her attorney now, figuring out the next move. He's right. My phone starts ringing at 2:47 p.m. Jessica. I let it go to voicemail. She calls again at 2:51 p.m. voicemail. At 2:55 p.m. a text. We need to talk. Now. I don't respond. At 3:12 p.m. Ryan, please. This is insane. I'm pregnant with your child. At 3:18 p.m. You're really going to throw away our marriage over nothing? Over nothing. I screenshot the texts, add them to the folder. At 4:03 p.m., she calls from a number I don't recognize. I answer, hit record. Ryan. Her voice is tight, controlled. What the hell are you doing? What I should have done weeks ago. I'm pregnant, with your baby, and you're filing for divorce? You refuse to provide medical documentation. Because it's humiliating. You're treating me like a liar. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so pathetic. We haven't had sex in 6 weeks, Jessica. So what? The doctor said I'm 12 weeks along. Do the math. I have done the math. 12 weeks ago was early February. We had sex exactly twice that month, both times after she came home from business trips to Seattle. Both times she initiated, which should have been my first clue. I want a paternity test, I say. The silence stretches for 5 seconds. 10. You're unbelievable, she finally says. I'm carrying your child and you're accusing me of… I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm requesting a test. If the baby is mine, we'll figure it out. If not, it's yours. Then prove it. She hangs up. I stop the recording, save it to the cloud. That night, she doesn't come home. I check the credit card at 11:47 p.m. The Edgewater Hotel again. $589. I sleep in our bed for the first time in a week. The sheets still smell like her perfume. The next morning, Paxton emails me. Subject line, interesting development. I open it at my desk, coffee going cold beside my keyboard. Ryan, Jessica's attorney, filed an emergency motion this morning requesting temporary spousal support and medical expense coverage for the pregnancy. They're claiming financial hardship due to the separation. Hearing is scheduled for next Wednesday at 2 p.m. We need to meet before then. AP financial hardship. She makes $140,000 a year as senior marketing director. I pull up our joint checking account, something I haven't looked at in days. She withdrew $15,000 yesterday. Moved it to an account I don't have access to. I forward the bank statement to Paxton with a single line. She's liquidating assets. His response comes back in under a minute. Don't touch anything else in the joint accounts. Let her keep digging her hole. I spend the rest of the day installing sensors in a pharmaceutical research facility, letting the mechanical work quiet my brain. Crimping wires, running cable, testing connections. Simple problems with simple solutions. At 6:34 p.m., my phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Mr. Harper. A woman's voice, professional, careful. Yes. My name is Lauren Wells. I'm a nurse at Swedish Medical Center in Seattle. I'm not supposed to be making this call. I step outside into the parking lot. Okay. Jessica Harper is a patient here. She came in today for a prenatal appointment. My heart rate picks up. And? And I can't give you specific medical information. HIPAA prevents that. But, she pauses. Does your wife have a sister, or maybe a close friend who might be pregnant? The question doesn't make sense. No, why? Because the urine sample she brought in today wasn't hers. The nurse's name is Bethany Cole. She tells me this in a McDonald's parking lot in Renton at 7:45 on a Tuesday morning. I'm sitting in my truck. She's in a silver Honda Civic 3 spaces away. We're talking through our phones like some kind of drug deal. I could lose my license for this, she says. I know. But I have a daughter. She's 14. Her dad pulled the same thing on me. Got his girlfriend to fake a pregnancy test to keep me from leaving. It worked for almost a year before I figured it out. I don't say anything. I'm recording this conversation on a second phone Andrew gave me. He said if she's willing to talk, get everything documented. The sample your wife brought in on January 23rd tested positive for HCG, Bethany says. But when Dr. Patterson did the ultrasound on February 6th, there was nothing. No gestational sac, no fetal pole, nothing. So she miscarried? That's what Dr. Patterson thought initially. But your wife insisted she was still pregnant, said she'd gotten a positive test that morning at home. Dr. Patterson ordered blood work. I'm writing this down even though I'm recording. My hand is shaking. The HCG levels were consistent with early pregnancy. But here's the thing. They weren't rising the way they should. With a normal pregnancy, HCG roughly doubles every 48 to 72 hours in the first trimester. Your wife's levels were staying almost exactly the same. What does that mean? It means she was supplementing, taking HCG injections or pills to keep the levels stable enough to fool the blood tests. My stomach drops. How do you know? I don't know for certain, but I've been a nurse for 19 years. I've seen this twice before. Both times it was women trying to trap their partners. You can buy HCG online. It's used for weight loss, fertility treatments. It's not controlled. What about the ultrasounds? She's shown me pictures. Bethany laughs. It's not a happy sound. You can download ultrasound images from Google or buy them on Etsy. There are whole businesses built around fake pregnancy announcements. Some women even buy them to surprise their partners before they're actually pregnant. She's been to multiple appointments. She has a whole folder of paperwork. Has she let you come to any appointments? I think back. Every time I've offered, Jessica has had a reason why I couldn't. The appointment was during my work hours. She was just stopping in quickly. It was a routine check, nothing important. No, I say. Mr. Harper, I pulled your wife's file. Since February 6th, she's had 6 appointments scheduled. She's canceled 4 of them and no-showed 2. The only ones she's kept were the initial visits where she could control the narrative. What about her stomach? She's showing. Prosthetic pregnancy bellies. You can buy them on Amazon. They even make ones that grow progressively larger to match each trimester. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Why would she do this? That's not my area. But in my experience, money, control, sometimes both. We sit in silence for maybe 30 seconds. I need proof, I say. Something I can use in court. I can't give you her medical records. That's a HIPAA violation. I could go to prison. But you called me. I told you what I observed, what I suspect. That's different from handing over protected health information. So what am I supposed to do? Bethany is quiet for a moment. Dr. Patterson is concerned. Your wife's behavior has been erratic. She's called the office 14 times in the last month, asking for documentation of her pregnancy. Specific letters confirming her due date, her health status. She's very focused on getting official paperwork. For what? I don't know. But Dr. Patterson has started documenting everything. If your wife's case ends up in court and the court subpoenas her medical records, everything will be there. Every canceled appointment, every inconsistency, Dr. Patterson's notes about the suspect HCG patterns. It's something. Not enough, but something. Thank you, I say. There's one more thing. Your wife asked me specifically about paternity testing. She wanted to know if the results could be altered or if there was any way to ensure a specific outcome. My blood goes cold. When was this? 3 weeks ago, right after she found out about the divorce filing. What did you tell her? I told her paternity tests are very accurate and that falsifying results would be fraud. She didn't like that answer. I'm trying to process this. If Jessica isn't pregnant, why would she be asking about paternity tests? Unless she's planning to actually get pregnant. Mr. Harper, I need to go. My shift starts in 15 minutes. But please, be careful. Your wife is desperate. Desperate people do unpredictable things. She hangs up. I sit in my truck for 10 minutes before I can move. Then I call Andrew. I need to file for a court-ordered pregnancy verification, I say when he answers. Good morning to you too. I'm serious. I just met with the nurse. Jessica isn't pregnant. She's faking it with HCG supplements and a fake belly. Andrew is quiet for a beat. Can the nurse testify to that? Not without losing her license, but she said if the court subpoenas Jessica's medical records, everything will be documented. That's good. That gives us grounds. I'll file a motion today requesting independent medical verification of the pregnancy. We'll ask for a court-ordered examination by a neutral physician. How long will that take? 2 to 3 weeks for a hearing, then however long it takes to schedule the exam and get results. That's too long. She's withdrawing money. She's planning something. Ryan, I understand your frustration, but this is how the process works. We have to follow procedure. I'm gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles are white. What if she runs? Where would she go? Her family is here. Her job is here. Her job is Trevor, and he has money. They could go anywhere. Andrew sighs. I'll put a rush on the motion. I'll call in a favor with Judge Brennan's clerk. Maybe we can get a hearing by the end of next week. But Ryan, you need to prepare yourself for the possibility that she actually is pregnant. She's not. But if she is, and it's yours, that changes everything. Child support, custody. The entire divorce becomes exponentially more complicated. It's not mine. We haven't had sex in 2 months. Can you prove that? I can't. That's the problem. It's her word against mine, and she's the one claiming pregnancy. Just file the motion, I say. I drive to work on autopilot. My phone rings twice. Once from my mom, once from a number I don't recognize. I don't answer either. At my desk, I open my laptop and do something I probably shouldn't. I create a fake email account and send a message to Trevor Vaughn's personal email address. I found it in one of Jessica's forwarded messages. The subject line is simple. We need to talk about Jessica. The body is even simpler. She's not pregnant. Thought you should know. I send it before I can second-guess myself. Then I wait. The phone buzzes at 2:47 a.m. I'm awake. I've been awake. Lying in the guest room of Derek's apartment, staring at the ceiling, running scenarios. Unknown number. Seattle area code. Hello? Ryan Harper, male voice, unfamiliar. Controlled anger underneath professional courtesy. Who's asking? Trevor Vaughn. I sit up. My heart rate doesn't change. I've been expecting this. I got an interesting email tonight, he says. Anonymous. About Jessica. Okay. It said she's not pregnant. I wait. I'm calling because I need to know if you sent it. Why would that matter? Because I need to know what the hell is going on. His voice cracks slightly. Is she actually pregnant or not? You're asking the wrong person. I'm asking her husband. Soon-to-be ex-husband. And I don't know what you want me to tell you. Silence on the line. I can hear him breathing. We need to talk, he says finally. In person. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not asking. Tomorrow. 10 a.m. There's a coffee shop in Bellevue 3rd Street, Slate and Steam. I know it. Be there. He hangs up. I stare at the phone for 30 seconds. Then I text Paxton. Trevor Vaughn just called me. Wants to meet tomorrow morning. The response comes 2 minutes later. Don't go alone. Record everything. I'll have our investigator nearby. Slate and Steam is one of those industrial chic places with exposed brick and Edison bulbs. I arrive at 9:50 a.m. Trevor's already there. Corner table, back to the wall. He looks worse than his LinkedIn photo. Dark circles under his eyes. Expensive sweater that probably cost $600. I order black coffee. Take the seat across from him. You sent it, he says. Not a question. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. He leans forward. Is she pregnant? Why are you asking me? Because she told me she is. Told me it's mine. Said you two haven't been intimate in months. The coffee tastes like ash. She told her attorney she's 12 weeks pregnant with my child, I say. Filed it in court documents. Trevor's face goes white. 12 weeks? That's what she claimed. That would make it... He does the math. That would make it from before we were together. Or maybe she's been with both of us. Or maybe she's lying to both of us. He sits back, runs his hand through his hair. Jesus Christ. How long have you been sleeping with my wife? 2 months, maybe 10 weeks. He looks at me. I didn't know she was married at first. She said she was separated. When did you find out? 3 weeks ago. She told me you were getting divorced, that it was amicable, that you'd grown apart. I almost laugh. Amicable? She said you knew about me, that you'd both moved on. I found out about you 5 weeks ago, from her credit card statements. All those hotel rooms you've been paying for. His jaw tightens. I haven't paid for anything. She has her own card. Said it was from her expense account. Check your hotel records. What? The Four Seasons, the Alexis, the Edgewater. Check who paid. He pulls out his phone. Types. His face changes as he scrolls. That son of a... He stops. My company card. She had access to it for business expenses. Client dinners. She's been charging our rooms to Waverly and Associates. How much? He keeps scrolling. 15,000, maybe 20, over 2 months. You might want to talk to your accountant. I'm going to fire her, today. Good luck with that. She'll claim pregnancy discrimination, hostile work environment. She's probably already building that case. He sets the phone down. Looks at me. You think she's not pregnant at all? I think a nurse at Swedish Medical Center called me 6 days ago and told me Jessica's ultrasound showed no pregnancy. That her HCG levels suggest artificial supplementation. That she's been asking about falsifying paternity tests. Trevor goes very still. A nurse told you this? Violated HIPAA to warn me. Said Jessica's been doctor shopping, canceling appointments, acting suspicious. Why would she fake a pregnancy? That's what I've been trying to figure out. He stares into his coffee. She told me she was pregnant 3 days ago, cried, said she didn't know what to do, that you were refusing to sign the divorce papers unless she gave up her parental rights. I never said that. She said you were threatening her, that you'd become violent. My hands clench. I've never touched her. She had a bruise on her arm, showed me. I haven't been home in 10 days. I've been staying with my brother. Trevor closes his eyes. Oh God. She's playing both of us. The question is why? Money, he says. It has to be money. Child support. Spousal support. From me maybe, but you. I'm worth $40 million on paper. Waverly's valuation just hit $150 million. We're raising a Series C round. He looks sick. If she's carrying my child, she'd have leverage. She could claim sexual harassment, pregnancy discrimination, wrongful termination, sue the company, sue me personally. He's talking faster now. She knows everything about our finances, our investors, our vulnerabilities. She handles our marketing. She has access to... He stops. What? Our client database, our proprietary research, our expansion plans. He stands up. I need to go. I need to lock down her access immediately. Wait. He pauses. If she's not pregnant, we need proof. Real proof. Not just a nurse's word. How? My attorney filed for court-ordered pregnancy verification, blood test, ultrasound, independent physician, but the hearing's not for 2 more weeks. 2 weeks is too long. She could do anything in 2 weeks. You could demand your own paternity test, as the alleged father. She'd refuse. Then you'd know she's lying. He sits back down slowly. If I confront her, she'll know we've talked. She'll know you sent that email. She probably already knows. What do you mean? She withdrew $15,000 from our joint accounts the day after I filed for divorce, before she was served. Someone tipped her off. Trevor's expression changes. Who knew you were filing? My attorney, his staff, my brother, me. Could someone at the law firm have told her? Paxton's firm is airtight. They handle high-conflict divorces. They don't leak. Then how did she know? I've been asking myself the same question for days. I don't know. Trevor pulls out his phone again, starts typing. What are you doing? Checking her email access logs. I have admin privileges. He scrolls. She logged into the company's server at 11:47 p.m. last Tuesday. Downloaded files, client contracts, financial projections, marketing strategies. The night before, she claimed she was pregnant. She's been copying everything, building leverage. He looks up. She's going to blackmail me, the company. She's going to threaten to expose client information unless I pay her off. Or she's building a harassment case, collecting evidence that you coerced her, that the relationship was non-consensual. It was completely consensual. She pursued me. Can you prove that? He hesitates. I have texts, emails, but she could claim I pressured her, that she felt she had no choice because I'm her boss. Save everything. Back it up somewhere she can't access. I already am. He's typing rapidly. I'm locking her out of all company systems, effective immediately. She'll notice. I don't care. If she shows up to the office, I'll have security escort her out. That's exactly what she wants. She'll claim retaliation, pregnancy discrimination. What am I supposed to do? Let her steal company secrets? Document everything. Have your attorney present when you terminate her. Make it about the unauthorized access, not the pregnancy. He stops typing. Looks at me. Why are you helping me? Because she's using both of us, and I want to know why. You think there's more to this? I know there is. The fake pregnancy, the timing, the money. It's too elaborate for just child support. Then what's she after? That's when my phone buzzes. Text from Derek. You need to see this. Call me now. I stand up. I have to go. Wait, what do we do? Get your own attorney. Document everything. Lock down your company and don't sleep with her again. I haven't. Good. Keep it that way. I'm halfway to the door when he calls out. Ryan, I turn. I'm sorry about all of this. I didn't know. Yeah, you did. I walk out into the cold morning air. Call Derek. What is it? Jessica's father died last night, Derek says. Heart attack. I just saw the obituary. My brain stops. Ryan, you there? When? Around midnight. Swedish Medical Center. The same hospital where Bethany works, where Jessica's been going for her fake ultrasounds. There's more, Derek says. I looked him up. Richard Blackwell. He was loaded. Like, seriously loaded. Real estate developer. estate estimated at 40 million. Everything clicks into place. The fake pregnancy, the timing, the elaborate charade. She's the only child, Derek continues. Only heir. But there's something weird about the will. It was updated 6 months ago. New provisions. What provisions? I can't get the full text yet. But the obituary mentions he was a devoted grandfather. Beloved family man. That his legacy would continue through his grandchildren. I close my eyes. Ryan? What does this mean? It means she needed to be pregnant when he died. Or he'd leave everything to charity, or some foundation, or anyone but her. But she's not pregnant. No, she's not. So what happens now? I start walking toward my car. Now I find out exactly what that will says. And then I watch her entire plan fall apart. Richard Blackwell's funeral was on a gray Thursday morning. I didn't attend, but I had someone who did. Andrew Paxton's investigator, a woman named Claire who looked like somebody's aunt and blended into any crowd. She called me from the parking lot of the funeral home at 11:23 a.m. Jessica showed up in full maternity wear, Claire said. Looked about 6 months along, crying appropriately, the whole performance. Who else was there? Maybe 40 people, mostly business associates, a few distant relatives, and 3 attorneys from Blackwell's estate firm, Carrington and Ross. They stayed for exactly 12 minutes, then left together. That's fast. That's strategic. I followed them back to their office. They're meeting with Jessica tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the will reading. Can you get me a copy of that will? Already working on it. Blackwell filed it with King County Probate 6 months ago. It's public record. Just takes time to pull. She had it by 4:17 p.m. I read it in Andrew's office, the two of us sitting across from each other in silence as I went through the pages. Richard Blackwell had been worth $43 million. Real estate holdings, investments, cash assets. The will was explicit. The entire estate would go to Jessica, provided she produced a legitimate heir within 12 months of his death. If she failed to do so, everything would be donated to the Seattle Children's Hospital Foundation. Legitimate heir. The language was specific. A biological grandchild, verified through DNA testing if necessary. She needed to be pregnant when he died, Andrew said, or at least appear to be pregnant long enough to actually get pregnant. That's why she kept asking the nurse about paternity tests. She was trying to figure out if she could fake the DNA results too. Can't be done, not with court-ordered testing. I set down the will. So what happens now? Now we go to the will reading tomorrow. As your wife's spouse, you have legal standing to be present for any matters involving marital assets. And a $43 million inheritance is definitely a marital asset. She's going to lose her mind. Good. Desperate people make mistakes. The offices of Carrington and Ross occupied the 48th floor of Columbia Center. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Elliott Bay. Furniture that cost more than my truck. Jessica was already there when I arrived with Andrew at 1:53 p.m. She sat in a leather chair, hands folded over her prosthetic belly, wearing a black maternity dress. Trevor wasn't with her. Her attorney, Richard Brennan, sat beside her, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Her face when she saw me was worth everything. "What is he doing here?" she said to the room. The lead estate attorney, a man named Douglas Carrington, didn't even look up from his papers. "Mr. Harper is Mrs. Harper's legal spouse. He has standing to be present. This is a private family matter. It's a legal proceeding involving community property," Andrew said smoothly. "We're staying." Jessica's jaw clenched. I took a seat across from her. Made eye contact. Didn't smile. Douglas Carrington cleared his throat. "Let's begin. We're here for the reading of Richard Blackwell's last will and testament, executed on October 14th of last year. Mrs. Harper, my condolences on your loss." Jessica dabbed at her eyes with a tissue. Thank you. Your father's estate is valued at approximately $43 million. As you know, he updated his will 6 months ago with specific provisions regarding the distribution of his assets. Yes, he wanted to ensure his legacy continued through his grandchildren. Correct. The will states that you will inherit the entire estate, provided you produce a legitimate biological heir within 12 months of his death. This heir must be verified through DNA testing to confirm biological relation to both you and your father. Jessica nodded, placed her hand on her belly. I'm 4 months pregnant. The baby is due in August. Congratulations, Douglas said without inflection. However, there are some concerns we need to address. Her hand stilled. What concerns? We've received information suggesting that your pregnancy may not be authentic. The room went silent. That's absurd, Richard Brennan said. My client is clearly pregnant. We can see that she appears pregnant, Douglas interrupted. But appearances can be deceiving. Your father was very specific in his instructions, Mrs. Harper. He anticipated the possibility of fraud. The will requires independent medical verification of any claimed pregnancy, conducted by a physician of the estate's choosing. Jessica's face went white. You can't do that. That's an invasion of privacy. You can refuse, Douglas said. But if you do, you forfeit the inheritance. Those are the terms your father established. This is because of him, isn't it? She pointed at me. He's been telling lies, trying to sabotage me. This has nothing to do with your husband, Douglas said. These are your father's wishes. He was very clear. Any heir must be biologically verified before the estate is distributed. Andrew leaned forward. We'd also like to request that verification. As Mrs. Harper has filed for spousal support based on her pregnancy, we have the right to confirm the child's existence and paternity. Jessica stood up. I don't have to listen to this. Sit down, Mrs. Harper. Douglas's voice cut through the room. If you leave this meeting, you will be considered to have refused cooperation. The estate will be distributed to Seattle Children's Hospital, and this matter will be closed. She sat down slowly. We've arranged for an examination tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., Douglas continued. Dr. Patricia Oakes at Virginia Mason Medical Center. She's a board-certified obstetrician with no prior relationship to any party. She will conduct a full examination, including ultrasound and blood work. The results will be provided to this office within 48 hours. And if I am pregnant? Jessica said. Her voice was shaking. Then we proceed with paternity testing after the birth. If the child is biologically yours and your father's grandchild, you inherit. If not, he shrugged. The terms are clear. Jessica looked at her attorney. He looked at his notepad. I need time to think about this, she said. You have until 9 a.m. tomorrow, Douglas said. If you don't appear for the examination, we'll have our answer. She didn't appear. Dr. Oakes's office called Douglas Carrington at 9:47 a.m. Jessica had never shown up. Hadn't called. Hadn't rescheduled. By noon, Carrington and Ross had filed the necessary paperwork with King County Probate Court. Richard Blackwell's estate would be donated to Seattle Children's Hospital Foundation per the terms of his will. $43 million. Gone. The divorce moved quickly after that. Jessica fired Richard Brennan and hired someone cheaper. Then fired them too. By the time we got to the final hearing, she was representing herself, which was exactly as disastrous as it sounds. Judge Patricia Whitmore listened to her claims about pregnancy, about my alleged abuse, about Trevor's harassment. Then she listened to Andrew present our evidence. The credit card statements. The phone records, the hotel receipts, the testimony from Bethany Cole, who decided that saving one woman from a lying spouse was worth the HIPAA violation. She'd already resigned from Swedish Medical and moved to Portland anyway. The fake pregnancy belly we found in Jessica's car during discovery, still in the box from the Amazon order. the HCG supplements in her bathroom cabinet, the downloaded ultrasound images on her laptop, complete with metadata showing they'd been purchased from a website called fakebabypics.com. Judge Whitmore's face throughout all of this was carved from stone. "Mrs. Harper," she said when Andrew finished, "do you have anything to say?" Jessica stood up. She'd lost maybe 15 pounds in 6 weeks. Her hair needed washing. She looked like someone who hadn't slept in days. "I made mistakes," she said. "But I loved him. I loved Ryan. I got scared. About money. About my father. About everything. And I made bad choices." "You fabricated a pregnancy," Judge Whitmore said. "You committed fraud against your husband, your employer, and your father's estate. You used marital funds to conduct an extramarital affair. You withdrew money from joint accounts without authorization. You falsified medical records." "I know. I'm sorry." "Sorry doesn't repair the damage you've caused." The judge looked down at her papers, then back up. "I'm granting the divorce. Mr. Harper retains the house, his vehicle, and his retirement accounts. Mrs. Harper retains her vehicle and her retirement accounts. The joint savings account will be split evenly. Mr. Harper is awarded attorney's fees in the amount of $47,000 to be paid by Mrs. Harper within 90 days. Mrs. Harper's request for spousal support is denied." Jessica sat down. "Furthermore," Judge Whitmore continued, "I'm referring this case to the King County Prosecutor's Office for potential fraud charges. What you've done here goes beyond a marital dispute. You've committed multiple crimes. Your Honor, we're done, Mrs. Harper. This court is adjourned." Trevor fired her the same day the will reading fell apart. She tried to sue for wrongful termination, but her attorney dropped the case after seeing the evidence of her unauthorized access to company files. Waverly and Associates filed a civil suit against her for theft of trade secrets. Last I heard, they settled for an undisclosed amount that probably wiped out whatever she had left. The prosecutor declined to file criminal charges. Not enough evidence for conviction, they said. But Jessica's nursing license, she'd gotten it years ago before marketing, was suspended pending investigation. Her LinkedIn profile disappeared. Her social media went dark. I heard through Derek that she moved to California, some small town outside Sacramento. Working retail, living in a studio apartment. I sold the house in Bellevue. Too many memories. Bought a smaller place in Redmond, closer to work. Started dating someone I met at a climbing gym, a teacher named Amy, who thinks my job is boring and tells me so, which I find refreshing. Derek asks me sometimes if I feel guilty, if I think I destroyed Jessica's life. I don't. She destroyed her own life. I just refuse to let her destroy mine in the process. There's a lesson in all of this, I suppose. Something about trust, or verification, or the importance of paying attention to the details. But the real lesson is simpler. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Jessica showed me she was willing to lie, to cheat, to fabricate an entire pregnancy to get what she wanted. She showed me that love, if she'd ever felt it, was less important than money. That I was less important than her inheritance. I believed her. And I acted accordingly. Some people would say I should have fought harder for the marriage, gone to counseling, given her another chance. Those people have never watched someone they loved look them in the eye and lie with such practiced ease that you question your own sanity. I don't regret the years we had together. Some of them were good, real even. But they were built on a foundation that was already cracking, and I just didn't see it until the whole structure came down. Now I'm building something new, something solid, something that starts with honesty, even when honesty is uncomfortable. Amy knows everything. I told her on our third date, the whole sordid story. Waited for her to make an excuse and leave. Instead, she said, "Well, at least you learned to check the credit card statements." We've been together 8 months now. No lies, no games, No secret bank accounts or fake pregnancies. Just two people trying to build something real. And that's enough.